In this video, I want to answer the question, is the crypto cycle over? Right? I've seen a lot of people on X complaining and getting scared that the crypto cycle might be over. We can see on the fear and greed index that there's extreme fear in the markets. This is actually the highest extreme fear that is on this chart, right? So a lot of people are scared and a lot of people don't know what's going to happen next. So in this video, I'm going to explain what will likely happen next. So first of all, it's important to understand that what is happening currently is completely normal. This is not something new, right? We can look and see that Bitcoin is down. It fell 30% from the highs. And this is something that always happens, right? It's something that happened already over here. It actually fell even more, 32%. If we look at previous cycles, for example, 2017, we see how many 30% plus pullbacks we've had on this way up. It's very simple. If you can't handle 30% pullbacks for Bitcoin, then you shouldn't be investing in crypto assets. Now, another question is, what about the altcoins, right? Some of these altcoins are down much more than 30%. I mean, for example, Solana's down maybe 60% from the highs, probably even more, right? And this is also normal because remember, when you buy these altcoins, they're higher beta of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin goes down 30%, then these coins will go down even more, right? They reflect Bitcoin's performance. So this is normal. Again, if you can't handle these corrections, then you shouldn't be investing in these altcoins. This is part of the game, and not everyone can make money. That's why the dips have to happen to shake people out. And I'll be talking about exactly why this is just a dip and why we'll keep going up and why the cycle's not over. But first, it's important to understand that it's extremely normal. Now, finally, I'll answer what about meme coins? For example, some of the best meme coins. Let's look at S&P 6900, right? This meme coin is down quite a lot from the highs. And again, this is something normal. If you study the assets, the crypto assets that go up, 100x during the bull runs, they've all have 80% corrections, right? This is part of the game. Again, if you want to, this is a higher risk play and it has a higher upside. But again, with higher upside comes higher volatility. So again, if you can't handle these 80% dips, then you shouldn't be investing in these assets. So now I'll explain why the cycle will continue. And it comes down to the main thing being global liquidity, right? So a lot of people will project random narratives to explain price action, but most of it is all noise, right? You have to understand what actually moves the price higher. And what actually moves the Bitcoin price and the price of every asset is this thing called global liquidity. So global liquidity actually has a very strong correlation with Bitcoin, right? By the way, I'm using some information from someone called Raoul Pal. Feel free to check him out on X, and I think he's on YouTube as well. So as you can see, global M2, global liquidity, has a super strong correlation with Bitcoin. And when we look at what's happening next with global liquidity, we can see that's going up, right? So based off this pattern and this trend, it's very likely that Bitcoin will go up. As we can see in the past, it's followed this almost exactly. So it should go up from here, right? And this cycle is also very similar to 2017 when Trump was also president. We can see how in 2017 that we had a correction at the beginning of the year, and then global liquidity went up into the end of the year. It actually had a massive blowout top where the last couple months is when we saw some of the largest gains from October right to November, December-ish. That's when we saw a lot of the gains. So this cycle looks to be playing out very similar. And again, like these 30% pullbacks are extremely normal for Bitcoin. So there's no reason to be worried and think that this is out of the ordinary. So very similar to 2017. everything looks exactly the same. So based off that pattern, we should be expecting higher prices. Next, we can see how, Bitcoin is just following this upward trend. So really the key here is to zoom out and to realize that, prices have not been good for the last couple months, but if we zoom out, right, what other asset is growing as quickly as Bitcoin and as fast as crypto assets, right? I mean, from the lows, you're still up 400%. I get that a lot of people didn't buy here, but it's important to zoom out and see that this is still an asset that's growing extremely quickly. Anyways, we can look at the ISM. That's also a very important indicator because it measures the business cycle. So we can see that the ISM is actually currently rising, and Bitcoin actually follows the ISM. As we can see, there's a super strong correlation in the past, and I expect this correlation to keep happening. And when the ISM reaches these levels of 55 to 60 is really when we see altcoins outperforming, because these are the stages of the cycle where people have more money, right? There's higher global liquidity. People and firms and investment banks start moving up the risk curve. And that's when we see some of these higher risk assets start to perform extremely well. Your S&Ps, 6900s, your other meme coins, your Doge coins. This is the time when these coins are going to outperform. But remember, a lot of people, they don't have enough vision to actually see this, right? And that's why there's been a huge dip now recently, because a lot of people can't really see what's going to happen. They don't believe that these things are possible, which means there's huge upside for people who understand what is going to take place now and position themselves in the right coins and in the right assets for this giant global liquidity increases that's expected to happen and continue into the end of the year. Obviously, we don't know yet what will happen, but yeah, so overall, I mean, this is completely normal. This is a normal correction, and I expect prices to go higher because global liquidity indicates that they should. And the Bitcoin follows global liquidity. So yeah, thanks for watching.